Welcome to Wall Street Sizing Up. Great show today. We have Flippy out for a wild ride. 2, T-cell tap outs. 3, a sized up honey badger that may have netted $900 million in one trade. And finally, a mixed bag, etc., of high conviction sells. Let's go. Before we get started today, guys, I just wanted to say a couple things. The reason why that we're here, the reason why that we bring you this channel, the reason why this is a passion project of mine is that I believe that knowledge is power. We all know, clearly, hedge funds, their day job is to know more than the Main Street investor. So when they file a 13G or a 13D filing with the SEC because they've made a high conviction buy, and what a high conviction buy is they have taken a position of 5% or more in a company's stock, right? That means they clearly believe that that stock is going to increase. So what the channel does is to try to help you shape your trading strategy around the smart money, or that's what it's called, the smart money. The reason why it's called the smart money is because people believe that hedge funds have insider knowledge. On the channel, I like to call it LinkedIn Lions, LinkedIn Phenomenon, LinkedIn Savants, whatever it is. That's why we're here. One is I want to bring you interesting stock buys, interesting high conviction buys by the hedge funds. 2, I want to bring you high conviction buys that I think that still have room to run or that the price will increase. Clearly, that's my opinion. But 3, we're not just an alert service. Warning. I like to bring you high conviction buys that happened, but now that hedge fund has now gotten out of that stock completely. And nobody else is doing those 3 things. So with that said, on to the news. You'll see on the screen here, markets are mixed. Dow's about even, NASDAQ's about even, S&P is even. First stock today is going to be ABB. You want to know why? It's the ABB group. Clearly, that's why the ticker. You'll know that this one is a holding company that engages in the development and the provision of power and automation technologies. Essentially, they're in the robotics. Receiving capital is what sized up on this bad boy. And did they size up? Did they go hard in the paint? Did they go high conviction? They like to call themselves an investment firm, and they have $13 billion under management. They invest in European companies, if you were to read all of that. That being said, ABB is down today at a market cap of $55 billion and with an average trading volume of 2 million shares a day. Now let's get into this. So if you look at their chart, whoa, I like to call this chart a wild ride, that's for sure. Praise God, because they have found Jesus. This versus this, I like it. They're up about 7% for the month, and for the 90-day, what do we have here? Beautiful chart. It'd be criminal not to tell your neighbor. That being said, Sibian sized up on what the event date is, the 3rd. So August 3rd, right here is what we're looking at. It's almost at a peak. It might have dropped off a little bit. So they probably got into this at the upper 25 range. But here's the deal. They went in at 106 million shares. Let me put that in perspective from a dollar amount. $2.7 billion. They went hard in the paint in this stock. Now, clearly on this channel, if you haven't learned anything, learn this, that when they make that type of high conviction buy, they're not staying it long. They're looking for an uptick and they're out. So What I believe is that they got out in the low 26s for about a $31 million profit over a day or two, right? Clearly it went down. But again, these SEC filings, I'm not saying, but they may have messed around with those, because if they had gotten in on the 31st at the high 24 and gotten out at the low 26s, there would have been a lot more profit. ABB, 4 stars. Ding, ding, and ding. So next up is NET, which stands for clearly Cloudflare. It's down today. Weekly chart shows not much. It hadn't moved much at all. In fact, it's down for the week. Looks like it went up a little bit, and then it just went into like a Texas tumbleweed plank position. The monthly, got a little bit of that humpback Notre Dame style, badoom.
Oh, wait, watch this. Oh my God, Charlie. Oh my God, thank you. This is so generous of you. Oh wow, what a terrific guy you are.
But it is up 8% for the month. The 90-day, what do we have here? Oh, we have a little beacon of hope. 52%. You gotta love that. I will tell you this, I'll give it 4 stars now because I am biting down hard on this 90-day chart. Even 8%. Clearly this is a swing trader's delight as well. But here's the deal. You're going to love this. So who went hard into this is a man by the name of Andrew Telfair at Valley Gifford. Again, another investment management firm. They don't want to be called a hedge fund. So it is what it is. They have assets, 196 billion in assets under management. Quite a large fund. What I did like about them is just a beautiful website. That being said, these guys are sized up predators. So here's what happened on the 31st. Let's go back to the 31st right here. I'm pretty sure they got into the high 40s. They got in. They bought, here we go, almost 19 million shares for a 9% position in Cloudflare. That would be a $760 million high conviction position. What I'm telling you is they're probably out of the stock. So if they got in at the high 40s and on August 30 went to 42.56, that is quite a high conviction buy, going hard in the paint, sized up, going heavy, made a $47 million profit. That's what I'm guessing. They could still be in this stock. I don't believe they are, especially when you're trading with that kind of size. That being said, again, I give this a 4 star. You know what they do. I like the sector. I know you do too. Next up is our leftovers, etc., mixed bag. What do we have today? Well, first of all, I wanted to go to LAZY, which is Lazy Day Holdings. Let me tell you what they did real quick. Clearly, in the season of COVID, this has done extremely well. It's up 300% in 90 days. You know what I want? They deal in RVs. They own RV dealerships. You can see here, retails recreational vehicles, motorcycles, jet skis, and related accessories. RVs sales are their number one thing. Now, this is what I liked about this. It's a company called Coliseum Capital, right? Coliseum Capital got into Lazy, for being honest here, because we are, helping the Main Streeters out. They got in 2018 and have been in the stock for a while, but they increased their position right around the 31st. But here's the deal. Here's high conviction in a stock. They own 43% of this stock. 43%. I'm guessing they still like it. They're still in this trade. I would give this trade another 4 stars. You need to look at this. All right. Now, off to Value Act Cat Capital. They have done some selling, high conviction, what we call high conviction selling. Now, Value Act Capital is run by a man named David Ubben, who I believe is actually leaving now as of this recording being made. $9.26 billion under management. They're out of San Fran. Here's the deal. They exit, high conviction exits, EVA, LIND, and UFI. They also exited NKLA, which is NKLA, which is the competitor to Tesla, right? Now, here's the deal. They got in, from what I can understand, they got in literally, I believe it said June 6th. They took apart this pump. But here's the deal. They jumped in with 20 million shares. This was a $700 million trade. $700 million trade at about the 35 mark. $35 mark is where they got in. It seems they could have gotten out at $80, which would make that a $1.6 billion complete trade. That means they got out of this trade probably or at least out of this, most of this trade at the $80 mark, which means they could have profited $900 million. Now, why I call this to your attention, and this is why we have the SEC, is because both NKLA and Value Act investors, or Value Act Capital, are based in San Francisco. I'm not saying, but I am saying LinkedIn lying, LinkedIn phenomenon, you know what I mean? So with that being said, that'll do it for today, guys. I'm glad you're here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave me comments. I love to know how we can improve the channel, or just how much of a dumbass I really am. That being said, guys, I'm glad you're here. Thanks again to the Texas Tree Guy. Thanks to my producer. We really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks. Watch your 6. Go hard in the paint. We'll see you next time. Thanks.